I have learned I don't speak the same language as pretty much the rest of the population at this point.
But we still love you.
Oh, thank you, babe. We were talking about my video yesterday that I did when he was taking a nap, and it was funny because I rewatched it. I watched it like before it was posted, so I didn't read any comments or anything. But it was funny because I was like, oh, I didn't actually say half the things I thought I said because they were in my head. And when I'm by myself, actually it doesn't even have to be by myself. It's just the way Katie is. There's so much going through my head. I really think that I am articulating things that are in my head. Like, oh, when he pulled up all the stumps, I'm like, oh, I bet his intent was to pull them up to take a chainsaw and get rid of them. And then it just never, I thought I said that. Yeah. And there was many, many times, but that's okay. I'm just learning that.
So what you're saying,
maybe I shouldn't speak.
No, what you're saying is last night's video with you being surprised by all the work I did.
Yeah.
Wasn't complaining.
Oh gosh, no, not at all.
He was just like, oh, there's that. And then you didn't say
I hadn't seen half of it.
No, yeah.
And so.
I went to town on that thing.
Yeah, he had so much fun.
I had so much fun.
It was like a kid in a candy store. No, it was just me like laughing because I saw him with a big smile on his face every single time I saw him. And he just...
Yeah, it was fun. I was having lots of fun. But I do want to address one thing. The reason I didn't pick up the mess, time constraint.
Yeah, I figured.
Oh, maybe. And
again, it was probably in my head, and I knew why. Because I knew we were getting close to the time. Because I think by the time you got it over towards the trailer, you had less than 45 minutes.
Correct.
And so I knew that. And again...
Yeah. Anyway.
Words are hard, y'all.
Thoughts are hard.
Making it come out the verbal hole, you know.
It's verbal hole. Verbal. Anyway, let's continue.
Words are hard.
Levi, Winston, how are you guys doing today? Kinsley's over there exploring. I put the fence back up.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
okay.
so...
Because they were just doing too much.
Yeah, when I was taking all of this debris down to the big giant burn pile by the road, I had taken down the fence that keeps the dogs up this area and away from the perimeter fence by the road. And since that was down, that's where they're spending all of their time.
Yeah.
They just would not stop chasing cars.
They like have the wrong focus. Their focus needs to be more on up here.
Yes. All right, so I don't think she showed these yesterday.
I did not, nope.
These are the half moon swales. The very first one that I did, it was rough. Let me tell you, trying to figure out how to, sorry, side note. Why did these fall?
Squirrel.
Yeah, this all fell. What happened here? Maybe I hit it with a tractor.
No, I just assumed wind, but sure.
It could be wind too. Let's put these up here.
Let's blame you.
Okay. Anyway, so this is a mess. This is just.
What happened here?
This was just a mess. I didn't quite have my technique down on the mini excavator and figuring out where to place the spoils as I was digging things up.
The actual berm.
Yeah. Anyway,
Do you want to explain what a swale is for those who maybe don't understand what a swale is?
Well, there's a couple types of swales, and the swales that we see pretty often and that most people use is basically a line that follows, it's called the contour of the field or of the whatever area you're doing.
Of the land, yeah.
Of the land. And the contour is where it stays level throughout that land.
Like if you all have ever looked on Google Maps or ever looked at Google Earth or, you know, topographical, you see those weird little squiggly lines, and sometimes they get really tight and sometimes they're really far apart. That's what typically the contour lines. That's a contour.
It shows you where the level areas are of the.
And the gain, basically.
That's what these flags are. So this flag and this flag, this point on the flag and this point on the flag, they're level. They're the same position, height-wise. And so the contour of the land, a swale would typically follow that contour, so that way when water runs down the hill, it hits the swale or the ditch basically, and instead of running to the right or to the left or uphill or downhill, it just stays stationary. Now we decided we're not going to do that type of swale. we wanted to do half moon swales, basically half circles. And so the way that it's going to work for us is as water comes down the hill, it will stop, or it'll get caught into this half circle here. This basically this little tiny mini pond. And this little mini pond will then soak into the ground. And so the tree is going to be about right here. And then a bunch of complementary bushes and cover crop and
basically just
edible
nitrogen
flowers.
fixers, edibles, erosion control,
Yeah.
like will be planted in a lot of these other places, but especially in the berm.
Yeah, so the berm is that thing up there.
It's the loose dirt.
Yeah, so this will be compacted down a little bit. We'll smooth this out so it looks nice.
And it'll have a flat top so that it doesn't come down with rain. So it hits it and it soaks in.
Yeah, so water will flow into it. It'll be a little mini pond. It'll collect the water. It'll keep the ground moist. So all of the roots for all the things that are around it will be able to use that water source. The main tree will be where basically Katie is staying, and then we'll have a bunch of complementary little bushes and flowers and edible things and cover crops and stuff for erosion control. So, and all of it will be edible. And so we're calling it the food forest.
Thus a food forest, because we've had a lot of questions on, isn't it just an orchard? We're planting the fruit trees first.
So at that point, yes, it'll be an orchard.
It's starting with an orchard, but then we will be transitioning it to an actual food forest and having, I mean, most of this, even like the ground, we're planning on having strawberries and all sorts of bushes and all sorts of edible flowers all throughout here. But we chose this design, even though this design is a lot more common in arid and dry desert areas. It's not as common in a moist area like where we are. However, we liked the fact that we could get a tractor, that we could get our lawnmower, that we could get wheelbarrows.
There's space between them, is what she's saying. And so
like, we could maneuver very easily.
We can maintain the field with, if we were to have a line contour that goes all the way like this and follows the line swale and follow, you can't drive up and over around them. These you can drive around because it's not the entire length.
Yeah.
But anyway,
in the line swales, the way that you drive over them is you put like an irrigation tube,
culvert,
just like what you do in driveways, and then you have to create a drivable space or a break in that. And we just didn't want to do all of that, but that was one of our biggest reasons why we chose to go a different route than a typical line swale.
And plus, you know us, we like to do things differently.
Yeah, we don't follow the rules.
We don't always follow the rules. So right now it's a field. In a couple days, it'll be an orchard. And then as time progresses,
in a couple months, it'll be a food forest.
In a couple months, it'll be a food forest. Yeah. So that's the progression of it.
Yep.
We did I think I did a lot of extra work I probably didn't end up needing to do, like really smoothing things out.
No, I like it.
I do like it too, though. We did map out the contours of this field. We did, I think, like 5 or 6 different contour lines. And that was just to help us with the spacing and the placement of the trees, because we needed the trees to be a certain distance from each other, needed the swales to be in a position where they could capture water.
Yep. So basically all of the flat ends are on contour for the most part.
Right.
We placed them, so I think in a Kraemer Life video, right, we're gonna have...
That's coming up next, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll have some videos showing kind of the thought process behind it and some of how it was mapped out, and Nate kind of talking through it. And I think I posted a couple videos too of just, you know, of all of the flags and all of it. And then we use that along with a tape measure based on the research that we did based on the different trees and how far apart they need to be. And then of course using the power line and not wanting to get too close to that. So we took a lot of things into consideration and had a lot of different mapped out points to help us build it, and then
it was fairly
paint
complicated.
out. Yeah, of course, everything that
let's do a,
We over-engineer things.
let's do an example. So
And it's all level. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah, this area down here, it got the most amount of water because it's the furthest downhill from here. We had just under a 1/4 inch of rain, and you can still see in here how wet this is. I mean, it's still very muddy compared to like this here where it's drying out, but it's so it's going to hold moisture. It's going to be a lot wetter, and when really heavy rains, it'll actually be a mini pond.
And I think this is a good view to kind of show where there's kind of points where it's going to slow down the water too. So if we do get a lot, because we do get heavy rains here a couple times a year, where this will kind of slow it down so that it's not all just like a deluge that's coming down and affecting our driveway. Because we do get, you know, I don't know what the most amount of rains that we get, but we've gotten some pretty significant downpours.
We've got it to the point where down by the gate, it's literally 2 or 3 inches of water just rushing down from the different properties.
And coming down this way and coming down this way.
We do get deluges of rain out here.
So we're just we tried to kind of also think through that a little bit in the placement to kind of, if it misses this bucket, it's gonna go off to either side and be caught into these two for the most part, right? So
yeah,
it kind of, it's not perfect,
meaning that those two swale are this one here and this one there. This one's kind of halfway in between the two of them.
On the contour.
So that way, if water is coming between those two, then it's caught on this one.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's our thought. Whether it works or not, we don't know.
We always have excess thoughts.
we've never done this, but
What?
But we did a little bit of Googling. A little bit of Googling. So tomorrow, I'm waiting for this field to dry because we did have that 1/4 inch of rain over our last couple of days. I don't want to drive the tractor on it quite yet, but tomorrow it should be dry. And look what I hooked up, Katie.
I saw. It's exciting.
Yeah. So
that's gonna be a big hole.
Yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be good. It's a 1 foot or 12-inch auger. Now, I did have the mini excavator, and I could have dug the hole for the trees with the mini excavator, but I wanted to try this thing out.
Yep.
And quite honestly, I kind of got like focused on just getting these swales, these half-moon swales dug, and I kind of forgot to do the hole for the tree, except for one of them. Like, oh well.
Oh yeah, there was other trees and stuff on the like some of that stuff that we wanted to do, and
yeah,
it's like if we have the time and we already paid to rent the equipment, let's.
Yeah.
I like what you did. I liked your path of destruction.
Well, yeah. So anyway, so tomorrow I'm going to be doing the auger and drilling the holes.
Nice.
For the trees.
And the trees will be here tomorrow.
Yep, trees are arriving tomorrow, and we then have a.
What did he find?
I don't know what he found.
Oh, that's a big stick.
I think
or
it's
a big bone. That's a real big bone.
Oh, that's a femur.
Where'd you get that at, buddy?
That's not a femur. That's a hip bone.
No, Kinsley. Oh, where did you get that? No, he's gonna be fine. I just thought it.
Oh my goodness! You found the other bone. This was that hip socket that the other bone came from. Wait, is that so good?
Buddy, no. Sorry. We love you, but no.
I don't know where they got this. Oh.
Careful.
Yeah, dip.
Clearly we haven't gotten the dips out of over here.
I didn't do the dip on that one.
We did. Oh, look, here's a peony. The randomness of the peony plants.
Yep.
They're starting to come up. Daffodils bloomed, peonies are coming up. It's weird because normally, well, peonies are about right, but the daffodils are very late this year. It was a lot colder winter than previous years.
Mm-hmm. It seems shorter though.
I know. It was shorter, but it definitely got colder for a little bit longer than years past. I think it was because it took longer to get cold. At least because last couple years back, November was so cold.
Yeah. This right here was an experiment. I was just gonna, instead of renting an excavator to dig out the half moon swale, I was gonna use the tiller and just drive the tractor in a circle and then stop it. That wasn't working so well. That was very, very, very difficult.
Yeah.
So we decided, let's just splurge, spend the money,
Let's just do it right.
Go get ourselves a Mini X, and then let the fun begin.
Let's have Nate just have a permagrin for 12
awesome.
hours.
It was fun.
Yep.
I really enjoyed it. I got good at it too.
Yep.
So anyway, that's the Hapsio. I got a little bit done on the house today. I'm
so bright.
Yeah. So tomorrow I'll work on the field, do a little bit more work on the house. We'll get it so the brooder can be set up on the deck tomorrow. So we're going into town for a date night at Lowe's to get a couple parts that I don't have that I need to accomplish that.
Hi, buddy.
And I think that's it for the day.
Yeah, I've got an order getting picked up later this week.
Nice.
All of my leftover roosters, just basically all the small chicks that didn't sell that I now know are roosters, and then all of the meat birds that I just hatched. So those will be picked up on Friday.
Sweet.
So all of the females, all the pullets that I'm growing out for customers are going to be going into the outside brooder so that I can clean the entire hatching room, get all 9 brooders reset up, ready to go with food, water, fresh bedding. I've got 3 to 4 days to do that and get all the eggs on lockdown so that worst case scenario, while I'm gone, if they start hatching, Nate can very easily just know, okay, if they hatch out of here, this is labeled, they go into here.
Yep.
But they shouldn't, I mean, he shouldn't have, I think last hatch, I had 40 early hatches that hatched a day early, so it's not a horrible number. It's a lot, but it's not horrible. So.
Yeah, it'll work out.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Yep. So. We'll figure it out. So, all right, we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Chickies.
The watering hole.
Yeah, the little, it's like the water cooler at work. Duke's coming to gossip.